Welcome back to episode 47 of Defeating Weekly. I'm your host, Craig Olson. Thank you for checking out this video. As always, please feel free to share out with others, as well as reach out to me with any comments or questions or just conversation you want to have about any of the topics that I go over during these podcasts. I'm super excited that we are now starting year 2 of Defeating Weekly, which was something that I was not sure if this would happen or not, but I'm super excited and ready to go. I have a lot of new and exciting things that I've got in place for this upcoming year and planning to do as opportunities to not only grow individually for myself, but also within this podcast that I'm able to share out with you. One very exciting new piece that I'm hoping to include more frequently is trying to have at least one guest about each month on the podcast and allowing them to share their expertise with you. With having just went over our goals together, Tasha and I were talking about them New Year's Eve, just like I talked about in previous episode, getting focused on the upcoming year. I figured why not start off by sharing and talking about one of my goals that I have personally for this upcoming year and something that I'm really working on hard. And I feel like many of us could be working very hard to improve on this, and that is focusing on things we can control. Okay. The idea of controlling everything just is not true. We cannot do it as much as we want to. For me, personally, being a teacher, I spend so much time trying to control an environment. I create seating charts, lesson plans that are figured out down sometimes to the minute of what I'm planning on doing. I make predictions as to what kind of hiccups there could be within my plan and try to address them ahead of time. However, then in walks the student who had a bad weekend with their family, another student who's bouncing off the walls, one who just broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and a couple who just got into a verbal fight in the hallway and then come into my classroom. As a result, my lesson plans now must be changed. I have to take time to get together, at least check in with each of these students, play conflict interference, and still teach the class. Now, all these things being brought into my class are not things I can control. I can control what is in my classroom, the classroom structure, and not allowing these outside influences to affect me negatively, that in turn affects everyone else in my classroom. In the same way, we all experience things outside of our control every day. Maybe it's at work or traveling or something at home. There are things we can control and those that we just can't. So often we get so tied up with the things we can't control that we are unable to function and complete the tasks we set out to do. These things that we can't control bog us down so much, and we fixate so much on them that it prevents us from going about doing what we are supposed to or need to accomplish or even want to accomplish. Instead, we need to start training ourselves to focus on those things we can. This is way easier said than done. I get it. Every day I struggle with this idea of I can just focus on this stuff. This is what I need to control. This is what I need to do. I can control these things. Okay. However, it's not that easy. It's not that possible. That's why, once again, it's a goal of mine for this year. Understanding that we don't have the ability to control everything and acknowledging this is vital to our overall health. If we don't recognize this, we are going to run ourselves ragged, always be frustrated, always be stressed. We need to acknowledge this. Then applying this knowledge is the tricky and challenging step, as it requires action and commitment on our parts. And some action steps that I have created for you, once again, as always, 3. Identify and acknowledge the areas of your life that you are focusing on things you cannot control, and identify the things you can control in those situations. So it's kind of that balancing act of what can't I, what can I, how do I adjust? Number 2, make a plan that is a reminder for you to only focus on what you can control. Maybe a saying, a quote, or an action that you do as a reminder that helps you refocus on those things that you are able to control. And 3, give yourself grace in this. You will struggle and focus on things you aren't able to control. It's going to happen. I'm just telling you now, get that out in the open right away. However, acknowledge that you are struggling and refocus and just start up again. There's no point in dwelling in those down moments, those things when you've not been doing what you set out to do. Pick yourself up, get back after it. We will never be done growing. You are a work in progress, not a completed project. Okay, we're always improving, we're always changing, we're always growing, we're always learning. We'll never be the finished product right until the day we pass away. We are always changing, evolving, and growing. I'm going to leave you with the quote. Just like always, this one comes to us from Tim Tebow. It says, "Don't worry about what you can't control. Our focus and energy needs to be on the things we can control. Attitude, effort, focus. These are the things we can control." I hope you guys share this episode with others. I hope to hear from you on your thoughts on this topic. As always, I hope you guys have a great day and defeat the week.